Yep. You could say it right now, this is the best as it's going to be, and we're fixing to go into a lull, a downward trend. How low it's going to get, I don't know.
Hi, buddy. Johnny's up the hill looking for Stripe and Morris. I'm not sure if they're there or not, but everyone in the lower yard is good, including Panther on the front porch. We're not so cold today, and we're supposed to get some rain. So what's the verdict under the house?
Yeah, not a drop, bone dry, not even a single little dribble. So I'm more pleased than even was, because I thought for sure I was going to come out there and there'd be a couple drips. I never do plumbing jobs that they don't leak, you know, and I have to come back and tweak on them. But that one, I've had, when I did this hot water heater all those years ago, 2014, October 2014, I used Shark Bite, and that was my first experience in a major way with Shark Bite, and it never leaked a drop, those slip-on fittings. And then this is the first little ones that I've used on the like down on the polybutyl, because those gray ones that I've used compression, they've leaked. I've had to work on those, well, this is only the second tee I've had to put in. Let me be clear. And the house is 32 years old, so yeah.
Well, congrats. I'm glad there's no leak. I'm glad there's no emergency. You got your coffee, your paper at Saturday morning. Actually, you don't have the physical paper today, but
I'm gonna
you get to go sit on your pile up for a few minutes.
I don't have to. Yeah, that's right.
We have no imminent weather, and I've got to back Ruby out for Johnny so he can do his Taekwondo testing this morning. Don was in here just a minute ago. Good morning, Ruby. All right, we're all ready for Johnny. Tuck's right away this morning, put himself back up in the chair. Hi, bud. They give you a little attention. Hello. Hello. He goes, I'll offer my tummy, Mom. So as I sit here and get ready to start my Monster Mansion work this morning while we watch a few more YouTube videos before we start our day, I was telling Dawn yesterday that I really don't have enough light, and I need a light. Because, you know, we added the foyer light, and it is helpful. Some of the lights pointing this way and all of that good stuff. I can see in my closet great. So that light is totally worked out. The problem is that when we did that light, we really could have used the light up here too. So we're thinking 2 eyeball lights, or one, what did you call it?
A track light.
Track light.
With couple heads.
A couple heads. I see that in our future, and not on a 95-degree day.
Our future, yes.
I'm the one that crawled behind the rafters.
That's true. You did. You definitely helped me do that.
And moved all the stuff. I was the one on my stomach behind the rafters, so that was a we. That was not a stretch on the we.
You're exactly correct.
I realize you're the person that runs the operation, and I'm the helper bee, but still, I was up there sweating too.
That's right. It was a very hot day when we were doing that.
Yeah, so I'm on step 106, and there's 100 and I want to say 49-ish, something like that steps. I did a little walkthrough of what was coming up to finish it. I'm thinking I might get halfway through those steps this morning, just casually sitting here. I get as far as I get, right? I guess what I'm trying to tell you is I think there's going to be 2 more sessions to finish this guy up. It's just after 1:30 p.m. so I'm sure I've been here for a couple hours. I've done 20 steps. I'm up to 127. I did confirm there are 145 steps to finish the building. And it's coming along very nicely. I have got the roof, the fancy 75 slope bricks installed. And I got my windows completed. And the roof surface up here. What comes next is the same sort of decoration here. Goes around the upper roof. And then there's going to be a peak here that looks very similar to the one that's on the side of the house over here. And a couple other little things. And then I need to decide, do I want to brown this floor, which I probably do, and put a few things on the shelves in here. This is not something that came with the original kit, but I had that brick, and I think it looks great there, and I just accidentally managed to fit it where it really looks like it belongs. So that was pretty cool. But I am stopping for the day. Maybe I'll get back to it tomorrow morning, if not probably Monday morning, and I'm stoked about how it turned out, how it's turning out. So Don's torn the dashboard on the GMC apart before to fix the odometer. Speedometer, yeah. Right. The thing that tells you how fast you're going. That's know, right. That thing.
That thing.
Yeah, not how many miles you've traveled.
Not how many miles.
Yeah.
Right.
And he knows that the RPMs and the fuel work the same way as the speedometer does.
Right.
And the fuel gauge is no longer working.
Right.
So, guess what? Don gets to take apart the GMC dashboard again.
Right.
So he's just reviewing, so he'll refamiliarize himself with what he did the last time. There's lots of YouTubes and instructions, and it's not one of the harder ones, I don't think, to get into, and he's got what he needs to do it. And it's raining out there now, but just a gentle rain, and he's going to get that knocked out of the way this afternoon. Yep. Right?
Yep. Hopeful.
Yeah, it's just another one of those things that's been on the list.
Right, on the list, that's right.
It is gently raining. I grabbed the egg cartons and the cardboard that we usually take to Mr. Ball's and put it in Ruby. While Don does the GMC, I'm going to drive up to Mr. Ball's and get eggs, because the last 2 times Don went to the landfill, it was too late in the day and Mr. Ball had closed. We called him. He's got eggs, because it is a 20-ish minute ride over there. And, you know, I'll play my pogo, see the sights, take a few pictures maybe, and I don't know, maybe stop someplace else and then head back to the house. Between the sweet gum balls and the oak pollen coming down right now, we just can't win with the driveway. Well, as we could expect, there's no one here at the environmental park, considering that it's raining and it's 60 out. We're not having a cold day, but we're certainly not having a warm day either. I sure hope the rain is a little heavier later on than just this little drizzle we're having, because we really truly could use some rain. I always like this view. It's just really pretty looking down into the curve. Oh wow, yay! They put the basketball hoops back up, and there's somebody over there ready to play so much that they're playing in the rain. I love it. There was originally a level 1 threat for severe weather here today, but they said this morning that they removed that threat. I guess we could still hear a rumble of thunder, but I think any concerns about hail are out of the picture. And, you know, it's supposed to be a little later. It's 3 o'clock. I'm thinking it was more like, well, after 4 for the heavier rain, but even later into the evening for the thunder. I just run around the corner at the Banks Road Sheets, and gas was $2.52. One of the Tesla Facebook groups was having a discussion the other day about why you drive a Tesla and you still care about gas, and they just basically said old habits die hard. I think it's a little bit more than that. I think it's because I want to know about people's motivation to possibly drive electric based on the cost of gasoline. You know, when it was under $2 a gallon, even at $2.50 a gallon, I don't think the cost of gas can be comprehended as a motivator. In other words, you know, how much you save not pumping gas with an electric car is a hard concept to convey. You know, that value proposition on buying electric, where you might pay a little more up front but save a lot more over time. It's hard to convey it. I certainly think at $3.50, $4 again, which we have been at before, is a little more compelling a reason. The other thing is that we all are affected by the cost of gas, whether we drive a gas car or not. The cost of delivering goods via truck to your local Walmart, for example, Amazon's delivery vans, and the cost of maintaining that fleet and operating that fleet. It affects the price of goods and products that we all depend on. So, you know, eventually some of these fleets will be converting to electric vehicles, but they're not there yet. So I think we care about the cost of gas. When gas was up at $4 a gallon in North Carolina, the cost of products was going up because it cost more to bring them to market. So I think I'll always pay attention to the price. It's not necessarily a habit I'm trying to lose, even though I'm not too dependent in our household on the cost of gasoline. Angel, how are you today, sweetie? Hi. Yeah, I remember you when you were little. She's a good girl. 8 dozen eggs and 3 pounds of pecans. Getting just a little wet. I think I'll appreciate the WeatherTech Max this afternoon, since I got some sand on the bottom of my shoes. See, sand. Dawn and I don't know what that weed is, but it sure is pretty this time of year. I'm taking a little drive down Old Stage Road. Probably pick up 210, cut back across the Angier and back to the house. I'm looking for little nurseries. There's someplace I might like to stop in and look for a few minutes. I've got the time. It's only 3:40. I got a little bit before I got to start dinner. I'm having a big Boston butt in the Instant Pot, and I probably should be working on it by 5. I always love that big tall tree. Yeah, this Broadwell's place I mentioned is just a wholesale plant place, but they sell to people on Saturdays. They sell retail on Saturdays. And back in the day, back in the 90s, I used to spend many a Saturday morning coming down here and picking up plants for me, picking up plants for neighbors, planting plants. Yeah, I spent a lot of time down here. It's a pretty sight with the cattle in the field and the red barn back there up on the little hill. Tar Hill Nurseries first on the left, then Broadwell's on the left, and then somebody else has opened up here on the right usually. It's a little late in the day, and with the rain, I don't know if any of them are open. We'll see. All those greenhouses belong to Broadwell's. Yeah. Place is probably open. I don't want to pull in there. That was too... That driveway was not good shape. Driving, parking, everything at Broadwell's is probably not good for the Tesla, but as long as I stay on the main driveway here and up by the front barn, I should be okay. And last year, the year before, the Japanese maples were just over to the right, so... Plus, I can ask the nice guys down here what they've got and how much it costs and decide if I want to investigate further. Ruby can handle a little bit. Just be careful. Not in jewels on those summer tires. But yeah, the driveway here is not really in such good shape. You know, this puts a new definition in buy local. He said the first greenhouse, and here they are. This is like the variety that Don and I have 2 of already, which is probably not the variety I want. These were 40. That's probably totally reasonable. Is this Turin Takanana Tamukima? Yeah, this is like the one Don has down front in that big planter. So that's not what I want. Let me see what ones they have outside over here too. Well, if I wanted Fatsia or Hosta or I can't tell, hydrangea. Yeah, here's where Don and I picked out our maple. When we came, like I said, I think it's 2 years now. I really think that little one I saw at Home Depot is the one I want, assuming it might still be there. These are 110 now. We did not pay that much when we got ours, I don't believe. I'm not saying that's not as same as everywhere else or even a good price, but yeah. Alright, well I tried. I don't think they exactly have what I want. I would have loved to have brought from Broadwell's. They have peacocks here. That was a peacock. Many a time we would see the birds when we would come. I would try to get the boys to come with me because it was cool to see the birds. This place goes on for a long ways and I would show you more of it, but I'm just not in the right vehicle. Okay, I can deal with this much traffic at Home Depot. There's a little breathing room. It's raining. I don't have an umbrella. Actually, I'm sure I have an umbrella in Ruby in the back if I really wanted to get it out. Hopefully it won't rain any harder than this before I look at these Japanese maples again. I found the little tree that I saw the other day that I wanted, but wanted to shop around a little more first. So I felt pretty lucky it was still here and in good shape. There were like 4 others the other day and they'd all been all knocked around in the wind, and they're still fine. They're all perky and everything, but there's only like half the dirt in the pots and stuff. So anyway, I got the one that was in the best shape. I'm just cold and wet now. It's 59 and I'm pretty wet, so I'm gonna head to the house. It's 4:34 and I gotta get dinner started. Playtime is over.
So I bought this on Amazon. It's just a set of stepper motors. Somebody put a kit together. Basically they make the kit for GM, and you count how many pointers you've got. My Envoy's got 6. This one is from the speedometer that went bad. I threw it in there. The 5 remaining ones, the gas gauge, tachometer, so forth. So, most guys would probably just go on and pull the dash out and put all 5 of them in there so you wouldn't have to do it. But I guess I'm not that guy. I'm just going to replace the gas gauge. I'm going to put them out one at a time. I mean, the GMC is a 2004 model. And let's see, 16, 17 years. So I guess every 5 years or so I can pull this out. So, maybe I'll use all these gauges up. It's hard to say. So anyway, I view the videos and stuff like that. So I actually didn't remember this little card being in there. It says go to www.drspeedometer.com/install about safe circuit board handling. I guess maybe I'll go do that. But anyway, fingers crossed it goes well. So if you ever have to do this, I recommend you get your steering wheel straight. Don't do it crooked. Only thing I got left is get this the blue connector off and push it with the thumb, the guy said. I have loosened the instrument cluster completely. I had no trouble. I think I must have used a electric drill driver to put the screws in last time, because they were pretty tight, because this time I'm using manual screwdrivers, and I actually found it kind of difficult to turn everything. So I must have put them in a little too tight last time. So the getting this plug out was a little bit more tricky than I thought. It's really stuck in there a long way, and it has a gob number of pins, so it was pretty tight. It took a spudger to pop it out. I would just say it's a little tighter. You definitely cannot pull that out with the instrument cluster bolted in, screwed in. There's just not enough clearance, and I had figured that out before I started, but even with that, you know, trying to get your hand on that was tricky. But I did get it, but that was probably took me, I had to go into the garage to get a spudger. That was definitely more than I had remembered. And so there it is. So I'm going to plug in my soldering iron, pop off the stuff, and we'll see how it goes. Well, one of the videos I watched said that you can tell just by the sound of the stepper motors that which ones are good or bad. And I kind of agree now. Listen to this. Maybe you can hear it, maybe you can't. This is the temperature gauge. You hear that? See how smooth that is? Now here's the gas gauge, which is the one that's bad. So it's definitely a difference. Okay, so here it is. It's all back together. It is very low on fuel. I have to say I don't. That is just under a quarter of a tank. I don't think. I think that's a little high. The battery one I also replaced, and it's reading 14 volts. That could be a little high, although it could be charging right now. Okay, the gas has come down a little bit. It's now down to, let's see, this is fifth, yeah, a little more than a eighth of the tank now. So it's hard to say. Let's see. Yeah, it says it's got 81 miles. It gets 400 miles to a tank. So I guess it's hard to say. It's close. We'll run it down a little bit more and see if the range goes down to when it gets below 50. It just says low range. So it's got 30 miles to go. So it's close. The battery voltage is 14. I'd say the oil pressure is about right, and of course the engine coolant. I guess it's hard to say. The speedometer is sitting dead on 0, which is a positive thing, because that's a little bit more important. So time will tell. So if you wanted to know, this is what's inside of one of those little things. It's like 2 coils, some kind of a little, or maybe it's magnetic. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. I see some little fine teeth or something. I mean, it's like, see those little, they got a little gearing on it. Wow.
Don probably already checked the mail, but I'll check the mail. Everything out here is looking good, including the hanging basket. Yay! Well, I would say Don's still actively out here doing something. In the garage, I guess. And or back and forth to the GMC. I see him in there. Get my maple out behind the Falcon Wing before I pull in. Just be easier.
All done. It went well. Nothing gave me any trouble.
But you need gas, so you'll know more when you fill it up if it's working good.
Right. I guess I said that in a little video I made, that I'm going to run it down more until at least the low fuel, the light comes on or something. Because remember, the little pointer has got nothing to do with the sensor in the tank.
Right.
The sensor in the tank has a magic spot it gets to, and it turns the little low fuel light on.
Gotcha.
The computer doesn't read the needle on the dash. That's
right.
what you read. So whenever the low fuel light comes on, I would like the pointer to be basically on
Or
empty.
at least to know where it is.
Yeah.
So you can calibrate in your head what to
where it
expect.
needs to go.
Yeah.
The speedometer is dead back on 0. The tachometer was a scooch high, and I replaced the voltmeter stepper motor. So I put 2 stepper motors in, the one for the gas gauge and one for the voltmeter. And the voltmeter one, because one of the videos I said, you can actually hear them. They kind of sound grindy.
If you move it.
If you move it.
Yeah,
versus,
like my robot servo motor.
Right.
If you move it, it grinds.
Yeah, so I went on and replaced it. So I've got 3 stepper motors, new stepper motors left for, the next ever how many years.
Okay. I'm home. I'm kind of wet.
Yeah, it kind of, every time I needed to come into the garage, that's when it started raining. And then whenever I was sitting in the car, it stopped. And so, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
So Don and I admit we're just a bit behind on all YouTube Tesla videos and even Kyle's videos. But we heard about this Mach-E video, this trip. This time it's from California back to Fort Collins. And we heard some things about it, but we hadn't seen it. And he's just said, basically, if you're not at the car, you have no idea if the car's still charging or not. I mean, God, can you imagine going to eat at the restaurant and not having any idea if your car's charging or not while you're eating? I mean, every once in a while, the Tesla will fault. You might need to, I'm not saying you won't ever need to walk back to your Tesla to handle any charging issues while you're eating, but at least you know it's happened, so you're not, having your nice sit-down dinner and then you get back to the car and it's not charged. That would be really annoying. And then, of course, he had all the problems plugging in here, and the efficiency didn't look so great, and wow. But yeah, I'm sure they'll fix the software issues. I really am sure they will, but wow, I'm just sort of like not speechless, but speechless.
What is it? It is 2011, right? I mean, back before we understood cell phones and internet. I mean, electric cars before, because there's never been any electric cars before.
And there's no apps, so we're just learning how to write apps and get them to work.
I mean, 2011. This is a really good 2011 video. It's great.
One of the things I said to Don is, really, why didn't they just go get some Tesla drivers or some Bolt drivers and say, here, go take this. Kyle, go on YouTube, figure out who knows about EVs, and have them take some trips in the darn thing and shake some of these bugs out before they released it. I guess there's that much of a push to get it to market, and, who cares if there's bugs when we ship it? I mean, I understand little bugs, but these are sort of approaching, medium major bugs. Anyway, it's interesting. It's good to see Kyle.
Yeah, so if I pick it back up, what I was saying was, as all these electric cars are now available, if they really start selling in the numbers, and people start road tripping those and if we don't fix the software issues, the trip planning issues, the charger reliability issues, and then the kicker is the cost. I understand already that Kyle on the Taycan, he said when he did the trip, the Cannonball, he said I think he said the Taycan actually cost $40 more. And not that electric cars
overall charging from coast to coast
than the gasoline. I'm not trying to say electric cars are supposed to be cheaper, but what happens is if you have all these other issues and it slows down and you have to wait a couple hours sometimes to get a charger that works, and you have no other choice, and then you have to pay through the nose for that, I'm just telling you, people are going to sour real quick, and they're going to blame EVs. And it's really not EVs. It's the lack of foresight of engineers, people like Ford, Electrify America. I mean,
failure to run a beta program.
Right. Just do a basic thing. Just stick it out there, because that way it's the classic case. You're signaling. We're signaling that we're an electric car. We're signaling we're fast charging is available. We're signaling. Well, I don't care anything about what signals you're sending. I want something that actually works.
Yeah.
And does what it's supposed to do. Just charge my car.
And let me know what city I'm headed to.
And if I'm in the restaurant and the charger faults, tell me that too.
Yeah, because if I'm done eating and it ain't ready to go, woo, that's a phone call to Dawn.
Again,
not happened, but
I see a lot of ways it can fail. I'm saying that's why I said you could argue right now we are in the heyday of these electric EV long distance travel. You could say it right now. This is the best as it's going to be, and we're fixing to go into a lull, a downward. How low it's going to get, I don't know. And there will be a
it's been a happy pendulum swing of adoption.
Right.
And now it's going to be a little, but like you said, how far is it going to go back? And I'm sure we'll keep going.
Right.
But it is potentially going to go a little.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.